There's so much that I don't remember about my 8th grade year and about my teen years, and I wish I did, because I know I missed a lot. I really do. And I missed a lot with my family. I missed a lot with my daughter. I wish somebody would have videotaped my life and showed me, like, hey, this is how you were acting. And I probably would have been disgusted, but it's probably something that I would have needed to see. And it's really sad because you only get one life. My home life, when I was growing up, had always been unsettled. I mean, by the age of 2, I could tell that something wasn't going to be right in my home. And when my parents got divorced, it had been me and my mom for a while by ourselves, and then she comes home and tells me that she's dating somebody, and then they ended up getting married a year later. I was very angry with her because of the fact that she basically pushed my dad completely out of the picture by marrying this guy, and there was no chance of us to be a family again. And I just wanted so badly for him to be my dad, and Eric was taking the place of him, and he was trying to step up to the plate and do what he wasn't doing. And I was mad at him for that, and I had no reason to be because he was doing a great job. But I really think that it wasn't me being mad at him, it was me being mad at my dad for not wanting to be my dad or not being ready to be my dad. I started with marijuana, just like anybody else did, because it was easy to get, and it gave me what I needed a little bit. So I would always drink. Whenever I would smoke, I would drink. And alcohol was very accessible to me because it was always in my house, it was always in my friend's house. But it still wasn't enough. So, I mean, eventually I found cocaine. And ecstasy got old after a while. It only takes things away for so long. The cocaine felt like it took it away for at least 48 hours, and that was longer than the next one. So it's like I just kept looking for something harder and harder, and then eventually I went to acid and then went to shrooms, and they weren't really doing anything to me, so I found heroin. And once I found heroin, it was like a godsend. I was like, oh, my problems are solved. Like, as soon as I would inject it, it's like everything went away and it stayed away. And that's what I loved about it, is I didn't have to think about anything, I didn't worry about anything. But unfortunately, I didn't worry about anything to the point where I almost killed myself on it. Every time I had a problem, I would never stay and face it. I would always run. And that led to me being in about 30 different homes in the course of 4 years, because every time I would have even the smallest problem with somebody, I would run away. From the time I was 15 till the time I was 20, I was in and out of jail about 8 different times. And the first time was by far the worst. I actually physically attacked my mother. And I beat her up pretty bad. I mean, she had marks, and they ended up taking me into jail. My life over the course of that span of time that I was doing drugs had just been everywhere. I was off track, I was here, there, I was every which way. There was a point when I tried to clean it up. And in the midst of me trying to clean up my life, I ended up getting abducted. I was drugged, sold for prostitution, and it seemed like a lifetime. Until one day, one of the guys finally grew a conscience, and he said, come on, we gotta get you out of here. And he helped me escape. And at that moment, I felt like I was gonna be okay at that point, but in all reality, I really wasn't okay. I hadn't felt okay from then on out. I felt worthless, and I felt like my dignity was taken. So I decided to take it in my own hands, and I cooked up 100 cc's of heroin, and I was gonna end my life. But it wasn't my time to go. Apparently God had some bigger, better plan for me, because he told me that it wasn't my time. And I heard it. I still believe firmly to this day that it was him telling me, no, you don't. It's not time for you to go yet. You're not done doing what you gotta do. I had forgotten how to pray it had been so long since I prayed, I'd forgotten how. So one day I was sitting in the mirror putting my makeup on. I was just going through a lot. I was confused. I had a lot in my mind, and I just decided, I dropped my makeup and I said, God, I said, I know it's been a long time since I've talked to you. I said, I know you're probably mad at me. I said, I understand if you wanted to shun me and had wanted nothing to do with me. I said, but if you never listened to me before, you refused to listen to me at all afterwards, just please listen to me now. I said, I need help. I said, please let me know what your plan for me is. And from that moment, I just felt like the entire weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. He was trying to tell me, with him, everything will be okay. I firmly believe that God brought Mike into my life for a reason. Just because of the simple fact that he so happened to be the grandson of a non-denominational Christian preacher. And it was kind of ironic because I had just been told by everybody, including my 6-year-old daughter, that somebody needed to save my life. Lo and behold, here comes Mike, and from the moment I met him until currently, he has just been my rock, my foundation, my everything. I mean, he picked me up when I was at my worst point, and he got me to the point I'm at now. It led me to be able to pray. And the first time I was able to pray again in I don't know how many years was because of him, and that was when just saying that one prayer was when I realized that what God wanted for me was to be a part of his kingdom. Since I made that decision to follow Christ that day, everything in my life has just completely fallen into place. It's just been nothing but joyful and beautiful, and what used to be dark and evil and grim is now filled with just happiness, and everything is just working out, and nothing has ever worked out for me before, so it's like a huge relief almost. My relationship with my family, my parents, my siblings, my fiance has never been better, but most importantly of all is my relationship with my daughter. I believe now more than ever that she actually feels like I'm her mom, and not just somebody that pops in and out every once in a while that she calls mom because people make her. I'm actually her mother now, and I've never felt like my life has been more beautiful than since that day that I made that decision to follow Christ.
These lies are ropes. I tied into my stomach, but they hold this ship together.
Sometimes the ugly points of life, in my opinion, are like a cocoon. You feel trapped, you feel like there's nowhere else to go, you feel like you can't escape it. But really, all you're doing is waiting for that moment when you'll be able to break free and turn into this beautiful butterfly that's able to fly wherever.
Don't let these waves wash away your hopes. This warship is sinking, and I still believe in anchors. Pulling fistfuls of rotten wood from my heart, oh, I still believe in saviors. We're all made out of shipwrecks, every single board. Washed and bound like crooked teeth on these rocky shores. So come on and let's wash each other with tears of joy and tears of grief, and fold our lives like crashing waves and run up on this beach. Come on and sew us together, just some tattered rags stained forever. We only have what we remember.